I don't have to tell you things are bad. Everybody knows things are bad. Everybody's out of work or scared of losing their job. The dollar buys a nickel's worth. Banks are going bust. Shopkeepers keep a gun under the counter. Punks are running wild in the street, and there's nobody anywhere who seems to know what to do, and there's no end to it. The air is unfit to breathe, and our food is unfit to eat. And we sit watching our TVs while some local newscaster tells us that today we had 15 homicides and 63 violent crimes, as if that's the way it's supposed to be. We know things are bad, worse than bad. It's like everything everywhere is going crazy, so we don't go out anymore. We sit in the house, and slowly the world we're living in is getting smaller, and all we say is, please, at least leave us alone in our living rooms. Let me have my toaster and my TV and my steel-belted radios, and I won't say anything. Just leave us alone. Well, I'm not going to leave you alone. I want you to get mad. I don't want you to protest. I don't want you to riot. I don't want you to write to your congressman, because I wouldn't know what to tell you to write. I don't know what to do about the depression and the inflation and the Russians and the crime in the street. All I know is that first, you've got to get mad. You've got to say, I'm a human being. God damn it. My life has value. So, I want you to get up now. I want all of you to get up out of your chairs. I want you to get up right now and go to the window, open it, and stick your head out and yell, I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not going to take this anymore.
Well, hello there, ladies and gentlemen. I don't understand why that's never doing what it's supposed to do now. I don't understand that. That's not right. That is right. There we go. Welcome, 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 welcome. This is Kristopher H. Bilbrey, your humble host. This is the 406th episode of the Political Spotlight. I am here live from Southern Command and out of the studio for this evening, but we'll be back in the studio by the time Sunday comes, and we'll be what is going on? We'll be back doing what we need to be doing, where we need to be. So welcome, ladies and gentlemen. It is Thursday. We've made it to the end of the week. We've had a lot going on this week. It's been a busy week, coming off of an extremely busy week last week. I think we hopefully are going to be slowing down as we kind of kick into the next couple of weeks as far as local politics go. And that might give us a chance to cover some of what's going on nationally and definitely at the state level. The state level is getting ready to fire up because we are coming into the last 2 months, the last month and a half of the Indiana General Assembly. So that's going to be fun and exciting. So we're going to be doing a lot there. We're going to be looking at some national politics and hopefully cooling things down locally for a while. Today was a big day in Muncie because the 2025 State of the City occurred this morning at 7 a.m. Really, it occurred at 8:07. The doors opened at 7, and the breakfast started at 7, and then they ate until 8:05, I guess, because the speech began at 8:07 on the dot. It's kind of like Dan was working for the radio, I guess. So that's what's going on there. Stumblefoot says, I don't believe the early morning audience, I guess what you're trying to say was, you don't believe that the audience was happy with Dan? Is that what you're saying? Kind of got a double negative there, so I don't know. I'm sure you're trying to say that you don't believe that they were happy with him. And listen, here's the deal. I felt like they clapped appropriately. Listen, that's not Dan talking at a council meeting. That's not Dan talking at a town hall in the evening. That state of the city, rather, being held this morning at 8 a.m. was playing to his crowd. It was playing to his supporters. If you caught the meeting, if you listened to the meeting, specifically if you listened to the entire meeting, you'll notice that he named through any and all city elected officials, any and all county elected officials, any and all state elected officials. Are there any city officials from other governments, other local city governments? And they had them stand up. All right, would the police department stand up? Would the fire department stand up? Will the street department stand up? Will the animal shelter stand up? Will community development stand up? Will the MRC stand up? Every single person. What's muted? Who's muted? What's muted? Every single person, like in the first several rows, draws a paycheck from tax dollars. I don't know what you're saying, Alva. Maybe we can. I don't know. You need me to turn the volume up, or you need Alva to turn the volume up? Are you hearing me loud and clear? All right, Kate's saying we're okay. And I can hear myself in the other room, so I must be doing all right. It must be your computer. Go out and come back in, Alva. Alva acts like this is his first time. No, I'm not whispering. His first time. No, hell, I'm loud. I'm loud. No, I'm not whispering. His first time. No, hell, I'm loud. I'm loud. Yeah, you guys are nuts. No. All right, so yeah, I don't want the mayor to hear me. So I think listen. I'm going to be honest. Ridenour put on a pretty good speech today. Whether you like Ridenour or you don't like Ridenour, Ridenour was playing to his crowd. He was singing his own praises. He was discussing the very best of the very best. You know, he's talking about all of the housing development that he's created, all these apartments. Hell, listen, we live streamed the meeting, okay? And after the live stream debacle of them being an hour late and everything that went on, I went back and I edited all of the crap out of it. So today's State of the City address, well, let me tell you exactly. Instead of just giving you an approximate figure, let me tell you an exact figure, okay? Exactly. I should have done this earlier. Let's see when he first starts speaking. Okay, so Dan starts speaking at 9:28, and he says, "You can leave now." His last words to the crowd was, "You can leave now." Okay. So you can now leave. And he says that at 1 hour, 14 minutes, and 12 seconds. So, okay. 9 to 109. So that's an hour. And then, so he spoke for an hour and 5 minutes. All right. Ridenour spoke for 1 hour and 5 minutes. And in that hour and 5 minute speech, he spoke about building the housing developments, building the apartments, and all the little things that they've done. He spoke about that for 50 minutes, 45 minutes. That was the majority. And those are things that we all know that he's been doing. Okay, so Ridenour's focus on the city's state of the state today. We only rented this room until 9:30, so absolutely, Kate. So Ridenour, I guess the focus of Ridenour's state of the city today was quality of place. I felt like I was watching an old episode of Pee-wee's Big Adventure, and that he went Playhouse, Pee-wee's Playhouse, excuse me. Pee-wee's Big Adventure was the movie. So, you know, when Pee-wee's Playhouse would start and they would go to the thing and pull out the word or the phrase of the day, and then if anybody said the word or the phrase of the day, everybody else, including the audience, had to yell. So if the word of the day was taco meat, anytime somebody said taco meat, they would all go, ah! You know what that was? Well, the word or the phrase of Ridenour's state of the city today was quality of place. Because if he said it once, he said it 32 million times. In the overall picture of quality of place, he focused on 3 topics. Public spaces, which he broke down into parks. He does resemble Pee-wee. His quality of place topics were broken down into 3 topics. Public spaces, which are parks, or the why, we'll get to that in a minute. Housing, and housing is broken down into affordable housing, so that's Dan's code word for poor people. Workforce housing, that's Dan's code word for middle of the road. And marketplace housing, and that's Dan's code word for his friends. Okay? And so he spoke about that. And then infrastructure. Now, this was wild to me, because when I hear infrastructure, let's do this. I want to ask Kate, when you hear the word infrastructure, what do you think of?
Roads.
Okay, give me like three words that come to your mind. That was real easy. So infrastructure, what's the first 3 words that come to your mind?
Roads, the electric grid, and sewage.
Okay, all right. Those are, a lot of people will say roads, bridges, and sidewalks. I guess those could all go together as one, really. Yours is really good. So you said roads, electric grid, and that's something I don't think local government would really work on, but I get where you're coming from. But that's just playing word association. I get where you're coming from. Well, Dan Dan's definition of infrastructure was infrastructure can be anything. It can be the roads and buildings and things around, or it can be people. It can be the people that work on those roads and the people that keep you safe and the people that put out the fires at your houses. Basically, what he was doing was he was spinning infrastructure into being police and fire. And he wanted to focus on police and fire because he needed to explain to you why we need to pass the lit tax without saying lit tax. He did not ever say lit tax.
The Oxford Dictionary
Okay, this is good.
defines infrastructure as the basic physical and organizational structures and facilities, examples, buildings, roads, power supplies, needed for the operation of a society or enterprise.
Okay.
Yeah, so the infrastructure for the power is not just the power plant, but it would also include the lines and the towers and the substations and that structure, the organizational structure for that.
Yeah, and
I don't think that they're not including in that the bodies that run those things. It's
yeah.
the physical.
I felt that was
stuff.
quite a stretch what he did there.
Yeah.
That was quite interesting. So those were the three topics that he talked about, and yeah, it was. So I will admit, number one, I'm gonna pause. Why does this keep happening? When you go away, something has gone on with this because it shouldn't. I'll have to play with this afterwards because it shouldn't then take us away from this. Anyways, so when I got to do kind of a timeout for a moment and say this. Have any of you watched the TV show? I think it's on Amazon Prime called Severance. Severed. It's who's in it? Let me see what's in it. Let me see what this is about. It is the show is called Severance, and it's from Ben Stiller, and it stars Adam Scott. And it's a TV show. It's got 2 seasons, and basically what it is these people that work for this secret company, they allow themselves to have their memories erased for their work memories. So when they're at home, they don't remember what they did at work, and when they go to work, they don't remember being at home. So basically it's like they're cut into 2 humans. One person has a work life and a home life. And because of that, what happens is after a period of time, the work self is just always at work, and the home person is always at home, and they don't know it's very wild. I started watching this. It's kind of science fiction-y. And so I will admit that last night after we got off the live, while I started working on some stuff, I started watching this and I just could not stop. And so I kept saying just one more episode and then I'm going to bed because I got to get up for the state of the city in the morning. And so like at 4:00 this morning, I was like, oh crap, I have to make the live, I have to make the duck, the link for the thing. So then at about 4:30, I started making the duck for today's live stream. And by the time I got it done, it was like 5:30, and I was like, I'm in a place where I've got to watch one more episode. So that episode ended at 6:50. And that was just in time to start the live. So I didn't get a whole lot of sleep last night. So when Ridenour was first doing the State of the City live, I only made it through about the first 20 minutes. So I had to go back and re-watch it this afternoon. And when I rewatched it this afternoon, it was a good speech. It was Ridenour doing Ridenour, all right? Told like 2, maybe 3 jokes, extremely like dad-like, kind of college age, youth leader-esque type jokes. And the people gave him, the chuckle that they have to, and they went on. I will absolutely agree with Jackie. Jackie had the absolute best line. Very upbeat, but he did not spend much time addressing the city's challenges. Examples: nothing about social issues, nothing about homelessness, and Jackie says he didn't address crime, and I'll say yes and no. He did talk very briefly about homicide, specifically murder, and so he did talk about the fact that the murder rate, which is funny to say it that, it's like that's not really, when you're just comparing one year to the next, you're not talking about this big pool of data that you're looking at to create this statistical formula or whatever. You're just comparing like, the last 4 months to this month. So Ridenour was really happy with the fact that in 2022 we had 13 homicides, murders, because homicide and murder are 2 different things. All murders are homicides, but not all homicides are murder. Okay. In 2003, we had 8 murders, homicides, and in 2024, we had 3. Ridenour has found a way to chalk this up to his doing, which is comical. And I will give his police department some props. They are doing things differently, and I think that is helping. But at the end of the day, I mean, you're always just one dispatch phone call away from something crazy popping off. That's how it works. You don't really get to know. We don't know in advance what's going to happen until someone picks up the phone and says, "Hey, I just walked in and found 7 severed heads, in somewhere." So, okay, all right. Let's kind of go through his bright, shiny speech, his hour and 5-minute long speech. So he starts off talking about the public spaces, and in those public spaces, he's talking about one of his biggest and best favorite things in the world to talk about. No, not Dustin Clark. It's the parks. Okay. And he talked about Storewood parks, Halteman parks. He talked about the Muncie Skate Park. He talked about Till Pond. He talked about the YMCA. And all some interesting numbers given here. The YMCA is a $32 million project. The city put in $2.1 million of that. $1 million of that came from the Ready Grant, and the rest of that, the other $1.1 million came from Edit. And I think that's interesting. What he does and how he spends Edit and what he deems appropriate to spend Edit on is crazy to me. Okay. I'm happy that he gave credit to Councilor Rose Selvey for the Muncie Skate Park. I was afraid that he was going to try to skate right on past that, but he did give Rose credit. That is Rose's baby. And so I'm happy that he did that right. It was interesting to me that he brought up being criticized for Till Pond. Ridenour was not criticized for Till Pond. Ridenour was criticized for saying that he needed the, whatever was it, $3 million bond that he then wrapped up a $500,000 matching fee for Till Pond. Now, I also want to point out that he talked about having a $500 grant with Till Pond. And I thought a lot of people would be like, well, that's something good that Dustin did. And to my recollection, Dustin did not seek out or do anything with Till Pond. The state of Indiana DNR, Department of Natural Resources, came to Muncie and told Mayor Ridenour that, hey, you guys could do this and apply for this, and we believe that you would be able to access this and have a good time doing it, and this is something that we would definitely give you money for. So DC Swamp Drainer here is asking what Till Pond is, and it's not cool like TEAL, like teal. It's not cool teal. It's Till Pond, like as in TILL, meaning shortened for Tillotson Pond. And the reason that it's called Tillotson Pond is because this is a pond that because it's a pond on McGalliard. Because it's a pond straight off the at the corner of Tillotson and 12th Street. And I'll show this to you here. I'm sure you'll probably be familiar with this once I pull this up. But this is looking in Beacon. Okay. Here we are. We are at the 12th Street. This is 12th Street right here. I'm trying to get right here. You see Memorial and then Tillotson. Here's the overpass. Here's Kilgore. Here's Tillotson. Here's the Tillotson overpass. What we used to call the old Martin Luther King overpass. Okay. And then it comes down here to Memorial. And then here's a gas station. Here's where they were going to put those Michael's apartments. All right, right here. And here's this pond. Well, this DC Swamp Drainer and everybody else, this is Till Pond. This was a part of property that was owned by Delaware County, that the city and the county somehow did some kind of swap for or something when they were no, check. I don't think that's true. I don't think that's part of the property. I was going to say it was part of the property swap that they did when they did the thing for the jail, but that's not correct because Ridenour said that he bought the property. So that I take that back. Ridenour apparently purchased this property. City of Muncie purchased this property, and he did this straight away. He did this in his first year. And he used to hold this over the head of all of his, man, that is really a killer. I don't understand why it goes to that instantly. I got to figure that out. That's killing me. So he used to hold that over the heads of all of his District 3 city councilors. And I don't understand why he I understand why he would do it because he got them to do all kinds of his crazy bidding for it. But it was just always very strange how that happened. But he would hold that over their heads, and he would make them vote the way that he wanted to vote, with the promise of, if you do this, we'll give you the money to do Till Pond. We'll do this and get Till Pond off the ground. Till Pond. And now finally, he's now saying that Till Pond is going to get started, which clearly he's been saying for the last 5 years. So I'll believe it when I see it. Tweety Bird says she saw several cop cars there this week. I don't know. It's going to be like a nature preserve / free fishing pond for people in the city and county, apparently. So, yeah, pretty cool idea, I guess. Whatever. I just, like, are they going to get it off the ground? We'll see if they get it off the ground. I don't know. Who knows? So he brought that up. But he talked about being criticized for it. Nobody criticized him for Till Pond. He was criticized for the bond that he said he needed for this, because everybody was like, no, this is just these are wants, not needs. He needed to be holding on to things and saving edit money and such so that he could help himself if he was ever in a rainy day. Okay? If he was ever in a rainy day situation, like, for example, if his tax draw was less than what he thought it should be because something happened to property taxes. So moving on from there, he brought up Ball State University. Of course, he has to bring up Ball State University. We just absolutely, we love the Ball Foundation. You know, it's like that. Thank you, Ball Brothers. Thank you, Ball family. Thank you, Judd Fisher. Thank you for everything that you've ever done. Thank you for everything that you'll ever do. You know, it's almost like you could watch that Severance show I was talking about and think that that could possibly be the Ball family. Ooh, weird throwback. Okay, anyways. So he brought up the $195 million development that Ball State University is going to be engaging in over the next 5 years. 4 or 5 years, at least 5 phases. I don't know how long those specific phases will last, but over a 5-phase project, Ball State University, along with other private developers, are going to be bringing in $195 million worth of construction projects to the city of Muncie. Well, kinda, but mostly to Ball State University inside the city of Muncie. And as we all know, there's a definite separation between what is Ball State and what is the city. They let us know this all the time. The city is helping with 3 of those phases. Ridenour was very proud of that. And those 3 phases, it's costing the city $5 million. So the city is paying $5 million of the $195 million that we're going to see over the next several years from Ball. He brought up the 95-room hotel there, the Performing Arts Center, a trail connecting Ball State University to the downtown. And then he hinted about a phase 2 project, which would be something that he, Mayor Ridenour, would be working on along with Jeff Howell. No. Yeah, is that his name from MRC? Yeah, I forget that guy's name always. Jeff Howell. Yeah, Jeff Howell. And Nora Powell. And I thought that's an interesting group of people. A grouping of Dan Ridenour, Nora Powell, and Jeff Howell. That's all kinds of funky to me. Of course, he brought up Minnetrista Cultural Center. He brought up Cannons Commons. And so he talked about that. And then he got into the housing. And that's when he got into the poor people housing, the middle class, and his friends housing. And please, I'm not being flippant to people who in need. I'm being satirical about Dan, okay? So of course he's going to talk about D.R. Horton, 34 lots and a park, 6 under construction currently, none are finished, 2 more lots are coming along. He then wanted to talk about the McKinley neighborhood, and I'm telling you, he is just all kinds of happy for this whole McKinley neighborhood thing. For the why, I mean, to me, it's like the reason the why thing happened is also he could go swimming on lunch. He literally brought that up during the State of the City, that he used to go swimming on his lunches, and he's disappointed that he hasn't been able to do that for the last 3 years, and now he finally is going to be able to start swimming on his lunches. What? Weird. So, that's that. Talked about the townhomes at McKinley. No mention of the gas station fiasco that's currently underway. He did bring up the Washington Square condos, which that's the jail, for those of you that are not familiar. The old Gray Bar Motel that's now an actual condo. What a weird turn of events. He brought up the White River Apartments, which I will say I'm actually impressed that he said that this project was a project spurred on by his predecessor. That's really the first time I've ever heard Dan say something like that. So I will give him a little bit of credit for that. Dan made the claim, and I'd like to do some record requests to verify this. Of course, so here's the frustrating part. So at the State of the City today, I guess if you would have been in attendance, you would have seen his PowerPoint presentation. But if you were a normal human being and you needed to work, you had children that you were taking care of, if you were doing literally any other normal human activity, then you would be let me do this here. See if I can get this to shrink down here. No. Funky, man. I don't understand what's happened to these. Okay, we'll do it like that for a moment. If you can notice here, you see we've got the crowd. We've got Dan and his little pea head up here at the top, and then you see this banner here that says "Thank you." That's not a banner. It's like a digital screen, and his plans were being shown on this digital screen. However, this is the very end. For the remainder and the rest of his actual speech, it was a tight shot like this the entire time. So anybody watching from home, anyone live streaming in current time, or anybody watching later in the day, they never saw any kind of presentation, no numbers, no evidence, nothing that Ridenour was ever referencing. This was all based off of his word. nothing that we could ever see. Now, as soon as the feed was over, I went to the City of Muncie's Facebook page, and I also went to the communications page to see if maybe they had uploaded the presentation, and they had not. And I reached out to Ridenour himself. I reached out to Dustin Clark. I reached out to Michelle Owen. I reached out to the communications director, Amber Green. And I said, hey, is there a chance that any of you are going to be uploading the presentation to the City of Muncie's webpage? And I did receive correspondence back from Amber, and she said they would be working on doing that. So they are going to do that. So we will be able to see the presentation at some point. Okay. So that's good. But he said a number here, which is crazy. So I'm going to have to look into this, because we have absolutely no proof that this is true, other than he said it, and we just, we have to believe it because Ridenour said it. Ridenour said, in these 5 years, meaning 2020, 21, 22, 23, 24, in these 5 years, 489 units. 489 units have either been completed or are currently under construction and are in the process of being completed, like currently they will be this year. Ridenour said those 489 units under construction or completed has been to the tune of $120,314,164. So Ridenour saying that he has brought, as mayor, to the city of Muncie, to Delaware County, to the state of Indiana, and to the United States of America, development to the tune of $120,314,164. Well, spray this dude orange, comb his hair up, and call him Donald Trump, because that's some pretty crazy development if that in fact is the case. I mean, that's a lot of money. That's a lot of units, 489 units. But man, that money, that's a lot of money put into development here. Maybe that's true. I would be shocked. He said there's been a 900% increase in building permits out of the building commissioner's office. I don't know. So from there, he then went into infrastructure. And that's what just absolutely, this is where I was like, this is a joke. He's telling a joke. I want you guys to actually hear this. Give me a second. I'm going to pull this up because you guys have to hear this. You can't just take my word for it. Let me. Okay, here we are. Yeah, we're getting close. Oh, well, Okay, so first off, well, I'll let you hear this because this is important. Okay, so listen to this. This was actually taking it back a little bit, but that's important. Listen.
And they're all showing up there. 11 different neighborhoods. A lot of them were lots where we had torn down old houses, and the lots were just sitting there. We made those available to developers like City View 1, City View 2, Riverbend, Southern Terrace. But those are houses going up throughout our city using our current infrastructure, which means it's less expensive. But it also helps us stay together. And we've helped 11 neighborhoods. Now, I do know that we've got things underway in 4 other neighborhoods that are not yet lit up, that will be part of next year's State of the City, I'm sure.
Here it comes.
But we're working to try and provide the housing options that people need. And Jeff Howe has been a big, big part of that. I greatly appreciate your efforts, Jeff. Thank you. In total, in these 5 years, we've done 489 units. Now that's under construction or completed. So there's hundreds that are not yet in play, as far as they're not under construction yet. And that total dollar figure is $120,314,164. That's just for the housing.
Whoa!
And those are ones that were not on the tax rolls because many of those properties we did not own. I mean, we owned, and so therefore they were not paying taxes. And now developers own those; they're paying taxes,
yeah, right.
And that helps our general fund, which makes the city council happy, but also makes me happy. And it should make all of you happy because that's additional.
Okay, now we're going to go into infrastructure and let you hear
not
what I was
increasing
really...
taxes.
Listen
That's
to this.
our building commissioner's office. I know they're here,
What?
But if anybody from the building commissioner's office, please stand up. Okay, Richard's here. His activity level, their activity level has increased substantially because we're purposely building housing of all different income levels, purposely building housing of all income levels. So in 23, inside the city limits, we had 23 new housing permits, new building permits, 23. The 8 years before I took office, the average was actually 16.1. Now, in 2020, that was COVID, my first year, didn't really know what I was doing. Still don't know everything that I need to know, but I'm still learning every day. Maybe 40 housing permits.
Okay, we need to go a little
more
bit
people the opportunity to live. And we bought our own roller and our own
right here
with contractors. And oh, please, a few people raise their hands. Yeah, how do we increase the housing options for our citizens?
Okay, listen.
So infrastructure. Does anybody like the roads? Oh, please, a few people raise their hands. Well, and that's because we did your street last year. No, what we found out very quickly is that we can't hire all this work out with contractors and make any progress on our street ratings. We had to come up with a different solution. So we intentionally put together a plan, and we bought our own milling equipment, which the machine we call Chewy. And we bought our own roller and our own paving equipment, and we trained our team to do it. And so the end result of that is we've had tremendous amount of paving. We paved more streets last year than has ever been paved. The lane miles were incredible. Every single one of these streets got paved last year. Now, not all from our team. We still hire the huge jobs out.
Listen what he says here again.
Contractors, and typically EMB gets most of them. And we bought our own roller and our own paving equipment, and we trained our team to do it. And so the end result of that is we've had tremendous amount of paving. We paved more streets.
We've had a tremendous amount of paving? Are you for real? Where is this tremendous amount of paving at? Hoyt's already cracking. What he did out in front of Southway, it has been horrible since day one. It's nuts. Listen to what he says right after saying a tremendous amount of paving. Listen to what he says here.
Last year than has ever been paved.
We paved more roads last year than has ever been paved? What? I thought, dude, that's a joke, right? That's a joke. Earlier in the talk, and that's the Timu version of paving. Absolutely. Tillotson, I don't know what's going on Tillotson. Tillotson's not the city. Tillotson is AEP because they cut up the road. So they're having to pave it back. That's not us. That's not us at all. God, why does that keep doing this? So earlier in the chat, in the state of the city, he made a joke when he was talking about the skate park. He said that, he didn't know anything about skateboarding and any of the terms, and he just knew nothing about it. He was letting everybody know that that's a young dumb kid thing, and it's well below me. I don't know anything about it. And so he started naming through some of the things that the skate park would have, and it would have like a grind bar and a thing to do an ollie over here, and it would have a 1-2-3 combo and a combo here and a combo there. And he gets done and he says, combos, I don't know anything about combos. The only combos I like are the combos from Lee's Chicken. Did you hear me? I said Lee's Chicken. And it's like, oh God. But literally the joke that he told here about paving a tremendous amount of roadway and paving more road than has ever been paved before, that joke hit harder than the combo joke. Because that's certainly a joke. If he's wanting us to believe that they have paved more road in 2024 into 2025 than ever before in the city of Muncie, I'm going to have to say bullshit. Sorry, I had something in my throat there. Anyways, yeah, that was odd. So he quickly leaves there. He spends no time on infrastructure. He spends no time talking about what's going on. No time talking about what's going on or how this is really going to improve or anything like that. He immediately goes into talking about the MPD numbers, how many officers there are. He goes into talking about fire station, MFD fire station number 6. And while talking about fire station number 6, he teased the fact that they're getting ready to start the process of building fire station number 5 that he's going to start bringing to the council. And he was upset. He let everybody know that fire station number 6 took 10 months to get worked through council. And he was letting everybody know, I don't expect that same thing this time. I expect double. Let's let it take 20 months this time. Okay? How about we do that? How about we double it? So from there, he goes into the animal shelter. It's still a no-kill shelter, yada, yada, yada. He talks about financials. He talks about financial stability. And the way that he talks about financial stability is he says, we have a lot of good people in the controller's office, from Craig Wright to Matt Wegley to Claris. I don't want any of them to resign. I know they're going to at some point, but I don't want them to. He talked about the sanitary district. talked about community development, just mentioning these people. What's funny to me is he mentioned nothing about the city court judge, no mention whatsoever, and he made no mention of the city court clerk. Very odd. Now, this comes from the man who last year has been overheard telling multiple people that he wished he had the ability to fire Belinda. If he could fire Belinda, he would fire her. He has said that multiple times. I want to know what the breakdown between Belinda and Dan has been. I have heard it's been because she cannot take how slimy he is and unwilling to communicate, and all of the ways that he tries to, get around things. I've heard that. I don't know how true that is, but it's a possibility. Kate says financial stability, but they're so broke they need to raise lit to do anything. Yeah, right. Isn't that amazing? Just absolutely shocking. He then brought up the Muncie on the Move. I don't know if she was at the State of the City today. I don't know. He didn't name her specifically. He didn't say, will the real Belinda Munson please stand up, the same way he did to everybody else. Rather odd. I don't know what happened with that. But that's interesting. So that whatever, I don't know. He did bring up the Muncie on the Move, and he said that he has brought 188 people to the city of Muncie, and that includes like a business person and then their husband or wife and kids. So it might not specifically be 100. It's not like 188 families. It's 188 total people. So, if one family has 6 kids, then, and I'm not saying, you get what I'm saying. I mean, it's still a good number of people that's been brought here. It's interesting that he talked about after 50 years of decline, the Muncie metropolitan statistical area on the census shows that we have 412 people that have come to Delaware County's area. So that's interesting. Kate wants to know if the people that are on the Muncie on the Move are the people that's been paid to come here. And I will say, yes, they were paid to come here. They were paid to come here. That is part of the benefit and part of the project. If they come here, they get paid a certain amount of money if they stay here, and yada yada. So that's that. And he was really happy about the fact that the Los Angeles newspaper had did some kind of article in the city of Muncie talking about how, we're a rural city sucking all the people from Walmart, or from Walmart too, from California to Muncie. And it's, I was like, okay, he's got that hung, on his wall at home and at the office. And then this happens. I want to let you hear this. Then this happens. We get okay. I want you to hear this. He's I don't know what a California paper praising Muncie is. Yeah, right. Yeah, right. I don't know. Dude, I gotta figure out what the hell's going on with these controls. Okay.
You can now leave.
What a weird thing to say. I've never heard anybody say that before. So, from the beginning of the speech to you can now leave, 105-minute speech. And let me tell you, he did not mention the city clerk. He did not mention the city judge. He did not mention homelessness. He did not mention the Southway Plaza ordeal. He did not mention the hotel that was supposed to be going on the northeast side of the city. He did not mention the crisis center. Why would we not mention the crisis center? Having the crisis center just have been talked about at the council meeting on Monday night, why would he not bring up the fact that the crisis center is underway, or whatever's going on with it? Why would he not be talking about that? So all in all, this speech was Dan Ridenour doing Dan Ridenour. I wasn't bad. He didn't slobber all over himself. He did try to make himself cry at the beginning. You know how he normally will cry once or twice during a speech. He did try to make that happen a couple times at the beginning when he was trying to talk about his wife and what she has had to endure. And I would only assume what he means is they've had to endure people asking tough questions, and they have not liked that. They don't like the fact that people mention them. She doesn't like the fact that, people just doesn't see him the same way that they all do. Good ignore the bad, try to cry till everybody go away. Yeah, right. That's what his. I'm sure that's what the notes read on his cards. So the speech was what it was. I'm waiting to see the PowerPoint presentation. I don't know how they do it. I don't know if they do PowerPoint. I don't know if they do Canva. They do Google Slides, or whatever the deal is. However they do it, I'm looking forward to see that, because that will tell all that I need to know about who did it and how good those slides and the presentation was put together. Again, I think it's extremely bizarre that he went to his man boy servant, Dustin Clark, and asked him to spring forward his girlfriend and have them work on this. I think that's weird when he has a full-time employee at his beck and call to do this very thing. That would be like having the police chief not answer calls for service. Tell the police chief, well, today you're going to be riding on an ambulance as an EMS personnel. It's like, no, I'm the chief of police. Wait, what? Lenny? Is that for real? Are you saying that your sister passed yesterday? I hope that's not what you're saying. If that's in fact true, I'm so sorry to hear that. I hope that's not what you're saying there. If it is, I hate to hear that. Oh no, man. Man, I hate to hear that. What happened? Had she been sick? I hate to hear that, man. My thoughts and prayers are definitely going out to you and your family. Had throat cancer. Damn, man. I hate that. I'm so sorry. Well, I hate to hear that, brother. You have parents still living? Like, is this something that they're going through? Losing like a child. Obviously not a child, but a kid, one of their kids. Man, I hate to hear that. I'm really sorry to hear that. And I'm glad that you came on. I'm glad that you're here, but I really hate that. So while he responds there, so that wraps up Ridenour's state of the city. It was what it was. If you want to go back and watch it, you should go back and watch it. I think it'd be worth the watch. He didn't talk about the crisis center. He didn't talk about the homelessness. Those are great big losses. And look, I get it. The state of the city is supposed to be his strong points, but it's also supposed to be a time when he should be able to say, like, this is what we're working on. This is what we're wanting to fight. This is what we're looking to fight. And, she fought it off once before. I have another sister and nephews and nieces. Man, I hate that. I obviously lost my dad in 2016 to kidney cancer, so I know that's a horrible thing, man. I hate to hear that. Jackie said the intro section of the program a little much. Pastor's prayer, national anthem, pledge of allegiance, Preston Cross comments. Then Richard Ivy's introducing the mayor. Yeah, I mean they really hammed it up a lot, and I don't know why. I don't know that they've done that all before. I don't think they've done that all before. To my understanding, they haven't had all those like pre-party speakers. They've not been doing the tailgating events. Basically, they just did the Pledge of Allegiance or maybe the national anthem, and then had someone basically do a 30-second announcement. Here's Mayor Ridenour, and then he started. Like, that went on and on and on. Well, I'll put it to you like this: the intro went on for about 10 minutes, so it was kind of like one of our intros here. But at least here it's just me talking. You know what I mean? So it's not like several different people and a bunch of weirdness. So very strange, just very, very strange how how this state of the city went on. And I just I think it's odd. I think that just having no mention of any of our problems, any of the things that he hopes to accomplish, any of our big flubs or missteps that, he really wants to do better with. I think it's I think it's very short-sighted of him not to mention any of those things. And so, that's why people feel about Dan the way they do. Great. You've brought $120 million worth of development into Muncie, but we have a homeless problem that is growing bigger each and every day, it seems like. And so I think the citizens of Muncie stand united in saying, like, we want the roads to be paved. We want to know what's going on. We do want public safety to be as good as it can be, but we don't want the city to rape us for it. You know what I mean? That's the number one thing that I think people really forget about. So, yeah, that's that. That's that. And the last thing that I want to mention, and we're going to cut it a little short tonight, but the last thing I want to mention is the Indiana Senate Bill 1, the property tax reform plan. It was heard in the Ways and Means Committee of the Indiana House of Representatives yesterday. They started at 1:30 p.m. and they did not leave. They did not adjourn until about 11 o'clock last night. So they were there for a very long time, and I, in all fairness, have not been able to listen to most of it. I've been listening to bits and pieces. I want to be able to sit down and listen to at least some of the bigger sections to be able to get an understanding of what they're saying. And I've had people say, you need to go listen to this section of it. You need to listen to this. No, skip this and go listen to this. I'm just going to start from front to back, and all this weekend I'm going to listen to it. I'm going to try to listen. I'm going to try to listen to it some tonight, tomorrow, and then hopefully on Sunday I will be able to give you guys a breakdown of what they said and what's coming next for Senate Bill 1. So that's where we are. For anybody that wants to hear it, you can listen to it by going to the Indiana General Assembly's website and going into the past House sessions. Look for the Ways and Means meeting that occurred on Wednesday the 5th, and then play the video, and you'll be able to play it. It starts at 1:30 and it goes until 10:30 or 11 o'clock. So check that out. We will be talking about it on Sunday if nothing crazy happens between now and Sunday. So if something big pops up, we might get thrown a little sideways, but that's the plan for Sunday. We will be off tomorrow, and we will be off Saturday. Kate and I need a much needed break, and it's been a minute since there's been like 2 days off in a row, so we will not be on tomorrow, and we will not be on Saturday. Thank God. I know Kate's needing it too, so we'll be off, and then we'll be back Sunday to give you guys an update there. There's a lot going on locally. I think it's starting to wind down, but we'll keep you posted, and we're going to be here for all of it. So you guys have a wonderful rest of your Thursday evening. Have a great Friday at work, a great end of the week. Have a wonderful Friday night. Have a wonderful Saturday. Have a great weekend, friends, family, loved ones. Obviously, give your thoughts and prayers to Lenny. Oh, I also want to say my family has first of all, I want to say this. I want to offer congratulations to my youngest brother, the brother on my dad's side, Jake, and his wife welcomed their second child into the world on Monday the 3rd. A little baby girl. They've got a boy and a girl, and they're just as cute as can be. So I want to offer congratulations to them, and then ask for, obviously, thoughts and prayers for Lenny and for anybody else out there that's hurting or dealing with something. But I have an unspoken prayer request myself for my family on my mom's side. Some stuff going on with my brother, personal situation going on there, and so asking for thoughts and prayers there, and for anybody that's inclined to do that. So that would be fantastic. And then obviously passing on thoughts and prayers to Lenny and his family when dealing with the situation with his sister. So thank you all very much. Have a wonderful evening, and we will see you back here Sunday night. Let's just double check. I think Sunday night is the 9th. Yeah, I think that's Sunday the 9th. And matter of fact, it is. So Sunday the 9th, that'll be easy. Sunday the 9th, 2025 at 9 p.m. Eastern, right back here. Check us out. If you have not hit the thumb like you should, please do so before you leave. Click that thumb and let us feel the love. Share the show with everyone you know. Help spread the word. And yes, that is very, very true. All babies look like Winston Churchill. That is absolutely a true statement. So you guys take care. God bless. Have a wonderful weekend. And we will see you back here Sunday. Good night.